Hey kids, Flexing Teacher Weber here. I hope everything's going okay. Last couple days we've been looking at like terms and the distributive property, two parts of algebra that you need to continue on solving more complex equations. I just want to make sure we have a really good grasp on those, so I want to pause and do a little review of those two concepts today. I'll just do a couple questions with you that show a couple of the things I noticed as I went through some of your assignments on those. So I want to start off with a like terms assignment where the instructions say to simplify. And when it says to simplify, that means combine the like terms or combine the terms that have the same variable part. So I want to sort of identify the terms that have the same variable part. We have a negative 8x squared. And we have a negative 3x squared. Those both have the same variable part. And it's really important you recognize that the negative sign goes with that 8, and the negative sign goes with that 3. So when we're combining those two terms, that's negative 8 and negative 3. The signs are the same, so we add them. That's negative, whoa, need to make the ink on my pen just a touch smaller there. There we go. All right. So that's negative 8 and negative 3. You combine those, that's negative 11x squared. Then you also have a positive 7x and a negative 7x. Now, positive 7 and negative 7 cancel out, and you're simply left with 0. And you don't even have to write 0 down. I know a lot of people did this. They did like plus 0x. You don't need to write anything down there. You can just leave that blank. That term disappears. Now, the last thing you have is you have a negative 3 without any variable part. So you have to treat that separately. So you have minus 3. And that's as far as you can take that question. You cannot combine the x squared and the negative 3 because there is no common variable part of those. So that's as far as you can take that question. So watch out for those kinds of things when I get you to practice more like terms today. The other thing I wanted to show you is with the distributive property. So the distributive property is a way of expanding a question to make the parentheses disappear. And some people had some difficulty with some of the ones that had a negative on the outside of the parentheses. That negative sign changes all the signs inside the parentheses to the opposite. So that minus is going to become plus. This plus is going to become minus. And this minus is going to become plus. So remember what this means. This means 3 groups of negative 4x squared plus 5x minus 6. But the negative sign on the outside is going to make them all opposite. So it's going to be positive 4x squared. It's going to be negative 5x. And it's going to be positive 6. And it's going to be like that 3 times because there is a 3 on the outside of the parentheses. So we do that 3 times. 4x squared minus 5x plus 6. 4x squared minus 5x plus 6. And then you combine all those common like terms. 4 plus 4 plus 4 is 12x squared. And negative 5, negative 5, negative 5 is negative 15x. And positive 6, positive 6, positive 6 is positive 18. And that's as far as we can take that because those are all different variable parts. None of these variable parts can be combined. They're all different. We can't even combine the x squared with the x. Those are different variable parts. Now remember the shortcut to this. You can use multiplication. You can say negative 3 times positive 4. Negative 3 times negative 4 equals positive 12x squared. And you can say negative 3 and positive 5 is negative 15x. And you can say negative 3 times negative 6 is positive 18. And that's the same as that. We have the long method that demonstrates what the distributive property means, and we have the shortcut, which will get you right to the answer. Please be familiar with both ways. I'm going to get you to practice some more of these today, so you become really good with like terms in the distributive property, and then we're going to finish up our unit on solving equations by using these kinds of things to solve more math equations. That's all for today. Make sure you post any questions in Shobi, and Flexing Teacher Weber is out.